everyone. So it has been a while. Honestly, I am really gutted that I missed the kind of Christmassy, winter, festive time of year in terms of like creating stuff, because it is my favourite time of year, and I had a bunch of video ideas and let's just say the internet never saw them. So instead of trying to like backtrack and make all the videos that I was planning on making, I've decided to make a video about one of the things that I have been doing while I've been away. So 3 out of the 5 uni courses that I applied for required me to have a portfolio. The kind of portfolio requirements for each university varied a bit, but basically they all required some kind of photography element. If you're interested, the courses I applied for are fashion management, fashion communication, fashion marketing and retailing, and then one's a fashion photography course and one's just a straight photography course. I know that is quite a bit of variation, but basically there are really very few fashion courses that aren't fashion design, so that's why there was kind of a broad spectrum, because I pretty much applied for everyone I can apply for in Scotland, and then one in London for no reason, considering even if I got in I would not go to London, so you tell me why I did that. But yeah, you all seem to like my photography videos, so I thought you might be interested in this. Okay, so I'm basically gonna take you through the concept, the inspiration, the kind of shoot, and the final images for each project I've done. So my theme was based on contemporary culture. That was through no choice of my own. That was just because one of the universities wanted us to submit a portfolio based around the theme of contemporary culture. So the other ones where it was like, make your own theme, I just said my theme was contemporary culture because that was basically what I'd created my portfolio around. Because I didn't really have any portfolio work prior to having to make stuff for applying to uni. Okay, so I'll just go in chronological order. The first shoot that I did, I called this geotone in my portfolio, even though it's not really geotone because I'm not that good at editing. It's kind of like sort of orange and sort of blue, but not like the proper solid red and like teal blue that a lot of people are doing just now. So the concept was just to kind of follow current online photography trends, so with the like fake glasses, the geotone, the like grungy sort of style of like models looking like they're not happy to be there, they're kind of fed up, like the sort of lazy oaf style. I've said Tumblr style clothes, even though that's not very contemporary, that's kind of 2013, but like whatever. My inspiration for this shoot was Brandon Wolfel. That's definitely the wrong pronunciation, but we're going with it. I said he's one of the most popular photographers on Instagram. His photos are instantly recognisable through his creative use of lights, prisms and reflection to create unique effects. His photographs have a red and blue geotone effect a lot of the time. And then I've also mentioned about the almost childish attitude of the model is seen in promotional images for Lazy Oaf, a fashion brand whose designs often replicate that of children's clothes. This shoot probably took me the longest out of all the ones that I did, because originally I was just kind of like, right, there's this tunnel that has got graffiti in it, made my friend Katrina just go and sit on the cold ground, and I was like, right, we'll take some photos. And then when it got to sort of like golden hour, then I realised, oh, these are the photos that I'm going to be using. Like the lighting was just so much better. So all in all, we were probably shooting, voice crack. All in all, we were probably shooting for about 3 hours, maybe. Not in one go. We kind of went out, got some photos that were not great, took a break, came back for that final hour, and I basically got all my photos that I actually used in about 15 minutes. The next set of photos I did were of my friend Matthew, and the whole theme was Brexit. And as you can see, the stars are obviously symbolic of the EU. Obviously I'm joking. This one was based on the book Year Special. In the book, the value of a person is determined by how many stars they have. So that's what the gold stars are all about. And the concept was to create an aesthetically pleasing photograph. So like the sunset, the clothes matched the background, the stars created with the intention of highlighting the pressures of presenting an aesthetically pleasing self. And the clothing, the same colour as the background, was to create a sort of harmonious mood. I definitely think out of all the photos that I've done, this is the one that gets probably the best feedback. Everyone seems to like these ones a lot. So the next ones, I just did a music photography one. I went and shot a local band. Yeah, I have to say I'm not the best at music photography, and when I see people doing music photography I get really jealous because they're so amazing. And I'm like, oh, I'm awful, and I know the only way I can improve is to keep doing it, but I don't want to keep doing it because I am so bad at it, and I feel bad like wasting like a musician or a band's time basically by being like, oh, I'll take photos for you, and then they're not that great. So I basically wrote that I feel youth culture over the past 50 or 60 years has been captured perhaps at its best in music and concert photography. I had some photos from like massive bands over the years, like Led Zeppelin concerts and stuff, where you can see the crowd and it's all teenagers, and yeah, so I said that was a source of inspiration, but really it was just because the university recommended that you take photos at like gigs and festivals and events, so I did that. And I said that the concept was like to challenge myself by aiming to capture moving subjects indoors in a low-lit environment within a 30-minute time limit, which when you write it down you're like, that is quite a task. So like, can't really blame myself for being shit at it after my first time. Then the next one I think was this photo I did of my friend Poppy. I think I called it Life in Plastic, based on like, you know, the Aqua song. So the styling was based off of an outfit worn by Kim Kardashian. I've said recently, but it was like a couple months ago was it for Kylie's birthday, I think? She wore that like pink dress that now there's a million knockoffs on, Misguided and Pretty Little Thing and Oh Polly. During the editing process, I airbrushed the skin and generally perfected the photo much more than I usually would, blurring the lines between human and animation, similar to CGI Instagram star Lil Michaela, who totally freaks me out, by the way. And I said that the concept was to create an image of unattainable perfection. Yeah, so here's the thing with this photo shoot. I kind of wanted to show that like I was capable of using more than one media form. So I took these photos on a disposable camera originally, and all of them were awful. So I just happened to have my like DSLR with me, and I took one photo on my DSLR, and that is the one that I've had to end up using because all the ones from my disposable camera were so bad. So to kind of add something into the little like bit of my portfolio that says shoot, instead of just being like, oh yeah, here's all the shit disposable camera photos, I said I decided to experiment with the final photo and make an alternative edit. The green tone creates a mood similar to that of a sci-fi film, adding to the idea that this level of perfection is unnatural. Didn't I? Oh yeah, in the concept bit I said that I oiled the skin to create a plastic-like finish, and the model was laying down on a white surface symbolic of an operating table. Okay, so the next one is called Nobody Else to Call. That was based off of Jazz Ratchford's song. I really struggle to say her name, or Stuff by Jazz here on YouTube. So the concept, this one I have written as if I am some like columnist for Cosmo, I don't know. So I've said the rom-coms of the 90s and noughties ridden with non-politically correct terms are being left in the past. No longer will our teen heroines cry over high school drama or toxic trash. Fuck boys, but I put a little star so that I'm not actually swearing. This is what actually makes a good teen role model. The final frontier. Okay, so I've said it's all kind of like noughties style, rugby shirt, hair clips, and she's in a childish pink bedroom. So the green of the shirt versus the pink background, like green and pink are opposites on the colour wheel, so it creates balance, hopefully. Inspiration, a Gen Z's definition of the classics, Clueless, Mean Girls, Legally Blonde. For the actual shoot, we started off shooting in natural lighting, and then I kind of lost the lighting, so I had to improvise and use a lamp, and then I ended up liking the ones where I'd used the lamp a lot better than the natural lighting ones, because I don't know, it just felt a lot warmer and more nostalgic, so those are the ones I ended up using. The next one was called The Times, even though the newspaper I used in it was the Herald, I think, so I really should have used the actual Times, but I only came up with the title afterwards. So I've said the idea of this shoot was to highlight the changing workplace. The archetype of a man who wears suits every day and reads the paper on the train to his office job is quickly becoming someone we see less of. We work from home, and when we do go into the workplace, it's forced to feel casual and fun, and well, who gets their news from a newspaper anymore? So the inspiration was definitely the 1975's latest album, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. That is a mouthful, which explores the main theme of this shoot, how the internet is changing our world and how modernity has failed us. I really can't speak English, can I? The whole time I've been planning my portfolio, I always kind of knew I wanted to shoot something in a train station, and I think this idea came to me the day after I saw the 1975, and honestly it was quite hard at times to get the lighting right because there's a lot of like harsh overhead lights. So some of the photos, the lighting is definitely not great, but most of, like, my final ones turned out fine. And then my most recent shoot, which I literally just did, today is Wednesday and I did it on Monday. I've not got a title for that one yet. I might just call it Jack, because it's of my friend Jack, and yeah, you can tell that all I've done for this one so far is literally take the photos. I've not thought properly about the concept or the inspiration, but I have a rough idea. So the idea was that it was going to be a different process to how I normally take my photos. Like, normally I have a clear vision, I just use my friends to model for me, I get them to do what I want, get them to like move about, you know, whereas this one I really wanted it to be about the subject that I was photographing.
My name is Bella Thorin, and this is the story of the time I found out I have dyslexia.
But this one I really wanted to be about the person that I was photographing, so I just kind of let him do what he wanted, took the photos in his bedroom, which was heavily inspired by a photographer I'm forgetting the name of, but in the 90s they basically went to teenagers' houses, which sounds so dodgy, and they would take photos of them in their bedrooms, you know, wearing, it's like their own clothes, their own environment, and you just get a little bit of an insight into their world. I really liked that idea, so that is basically what I did. So I think that's everything in my portfolio so far. I've already submitted my application for University of the Arts London for fashion photography, so like the most recent shoot I did of Jack is not in that portfolio because it got submitted like a couple of weeks ago, but one of the other schools that I'm applying for requires 10 original photographs from like 10 separate shoots, so I think I still have 2 more shoots to do before whenever they decide to give me an interview. If they decide to give me an interview, that would be really hilarious if I'd put in all this work and then they turn around and go, no, we don't want you. So I can't wait for that. Hope everyone else's university application is going well. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I know it's been a while, I'll try not to take so long in making the next one. And I'll see you soon. Bye!